Good afternoon, guys. Daniel here from the Effective Contractor. How's it going? Today, we're going to be looking at a schedule. So, basically, why do we use schedules? Why are schedules important? A lot of the time, people write schedules off. They say we don't need a schedule, we're too small. Other people say that we don't need a schedule because our works are always changing and we don't know what's coming up. And some people, the rare bunch, say that we do enjoy schedules, not just enjoy them, but we center our lives around them. So that's what I want to look in today. So just taking a step back into the past in my life, I found that schedules for me were incredibly important, but it took me a little while to figure it out. First of all, I didn't really know what schedules were. I used to be quite a reactive person. You'd be like in the day-to-day work, you just see what's coming up, and you'd say, okay, delegate the guys to their different tasks throughout the day, and you kind of look ahead in the week, and you'd say, okay, well, probably got to cut this coming up, probably need to get these materials, probably need to get this equipment, and there's nothing was really structured beyond a few days, and that there kind of caused a few problems because the client didn't know what we were doing. We didn't really know what we're doing next week. The guys didn't know where they're going. They didn't really understand the scope of the works, and to organize materials and equipment was really difficult because some things you need at least a 2 week lead on them, some things you need a 1 week lead on them, other things you need to determine when you're going to pick them up, and sending guys to and from the shop becomes difficult and tedious, and you spend a lot of money on that. So we basically came to a point where we said, okay, we need to figure this out. We need to get to the bottom of this, and we need to figure out, okay, how can we put schedules together and effectively do so? So we came up with a bit of a plan. The plan was, okay, so let's look ahead into the next the next month, and any project that comes in, we're just going to add it into this. So we got the basis of a schedule, and what we did is we said, okay, what's the project's name? Is the project longer than a week, or is it longer than 3 days? If it was longer than a week or 3 days, then we'd break the project down into a number of steps and basically just assign a duration to it. And then, so once we got that, we got a start date on it, we got a finish date. That's, everyone understands that's the basics of a schedule, but how to actually make that work was another thing. So the plan was that the foreman or whoever's doing the job would look over the job, and they would get a good understanding, okay, what could stop the job, what needs to be done from the client side, what needs to be done before we arrive on site. And basically they would say, okay, they'll send that into the office, and they'll say, okay, well, we need this, we need that, that needs to be moved, or we need to do this or that. And then that way we managed to be able to stay a week ahead of ourselves all the time. And so we went out and we did this, and at the start it wasn't too successful. The site coordinators didn't really enjoy building a schedule. The guys on site didn't really understand what they were doing going out on site, and we ran into all sorts of problems. So we basically, okay, we toned it down, and we worked one project at a time, working with one foreman, and basically walking out there with the foreman a week ahead, looking at the job, saying what we're doing, what needs to be done, or we need to move this piece of machinery, or we need to dig out over here to be able to get in over there. And we kind of went through that, and then we looked at, okay, well, that's what we require from the client. Well, what about the materials that we require next week? So we require this, 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 and this, and this. And okay, what do we have in stock? What don't we have in stock? And it's kind of like, okay, so we started moving from the day to the week, and that was a really big move for us. And we started to get that set up on all of our projects, and it got to a point where we could look accurately into the future for 2 weeks. Now, say you're a smaller contractor and you don't really have any big projects. Well, the thing is that where do you lodge all the projects that come in? You need a schedule is just basically saying what you're doing and when you're doing it. So what I'd like to do is I want to give an example for a smaller contractor and how to run a schedule and how to build a schedule and tie the schedule into the site, because there's a big problem that happens in scheduling. You keep the schedule away from the site, the guys don't understand what's going on. The problem is the guys know what's going on the site, and if you're not on site all the time, you don't know what's going on site. So you need to be the schedule needs to be able to cross both bounds. So what I've got here is I've got a software called Smartsheet. Now, Smartsheet is free for the first month, and it's $20 a month after that. It's a good little tool. I just want to run you through how you can use Smartsheet to be able to track all your jobs, put all the information in, and to be able to link the office to the site through the schedule. So what I want to do is just have a quick look over here. I'm going to move my camera. And so what you got here is you got a job name. So you got 203 North Boulevard, Toronto. You got all these different projects you got going on. You've got duration, how long these projects are each going to take. You've got the start date, the finish date, the predecessor. You've got who the project's assigned to. You've got, okay, was it complete? Is it in progress? You've got a bit of a breakdown about the type of job that it is, the address, if it's not the project name. You can say, okay, well, so once the guy, so the beauty of this is I'm going to show you how the guys can interact with this. They can add extras into it and you can put job info into there. So basically, the guys can see this from this program on their phone. And a good way to view it is to look at it in the calendar view. And what they can do is they can see, okay, what are all the jobs? So on Tuesday, blue is Matt, green is Jake, say. They know, okay, well, I'm here, I'm going to drop down onto here. And then they can, what they do is they can open this up. They can do this on their phone very easily. North Boulevard, start, finish, assigned to Jake. Okay, he can say it's complete. He can say it's 100% done. He can then say, okay, well, I added a few extras in there. He's got a bit of information in there. He can come down here. He can add an attachment in there even and whatnot. So there's the basic of that. So that's how you can connect the guys. They can see where they're going. You can run the schedule. You can also put more information into here if you need to. So you can put some drawings in here. And a good thing about this also is that what you can do is you can break the projects down. If you've got a larger project, you can break it down into different items. So then, okay, we've got roughing going on. We've got to install 2 tanks. We've got to set up sinks, hook up roughing and whatnot, and you can put the information here if you want to give them a little bit more information. So that's the basic of a schedule, and that's why you use schedules and how schedules can really help you get ahead. Because with this sort of information, you can really start saying what materials do we need, what equipment do we need, who's going where, what's happening, and you can really build on that. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.